Well, the mute wasn't working there. So, hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast episode. Here we go. I'm going to say it today. 69! Woo! Bam, 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 bam. The big 69. We have made it to 69 shows. Of course, is that guy 69 representing in the chat. I am your host, Dantes. And of course, joining me like always, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And just so you know, I may end up losing the voice, like sometime around the podcast, is because it's a combination of the weather has gotten colder, and my Cleveland Browns finally won today for the third time in season, the first time since 2015 that they won 3 games in a season. So I was, very excited about that. Baker Mayfield almost a perfect rating. Nick Chubb running it like crazy. Longest touchdown in the history of the Browns. So I'm very excited. But we're not going to be talking about sports on here. We're going to be talking about games. So Dantes, go ahead and take it away.
It's tough to be a Browns fan. I still don't get it. And you were facing the Falcons today. So in reality, you should be supporting the Falcons. But
no, I got to appreciate the little things. It's all about the little things.
Yes. Anyway, in my case, my Colts won today, so we're good too. So anyway, let's start that rigmarole because let's start the show. Yes, we are in episode 69, celebration in the house. Yes, Dick, you guys can make all the 69 jokes that you want because it's a special day. Not many times that we arrive to this milestone of 69 episodes because after today, it's over. There's no more 69 episodes. So, basically what I'm saying is let's celebrate big time to die. But let's do that rigmarole, shall we? I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast episode 69 right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and hit that bell so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, remember, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show us love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. On Monday is PlayStation Monday, but this Monday I won't be able to do it because I have some things to take care of. But I will be doing it on Tuesday, and I know Tuesday is not Monday. That's why I'm thinking of changing the name of the show to Force In Unison PlayStation Streams going forward. But we'll do that after the Christmas vacation. Also, Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and get some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, are you guys ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one in attendance. And the 12 people watching around the world, let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the Week.
My body is ready.
My body is ready, and Caleones, we got a couple of interesting hot topics. So let's kick it off with everybody's favorite hot topic, Smash Bros. So go ahead, Caleones. What is the first piece of news?
Okay, so the first piece of news is going to be one that, even though it was announced on the Direct as a way to kind of like smash, quote unquote, all controversy about what fighters are going to be featured on the game, it actually kind of like turned it back on again because, this is coming straight from Sakurai, and he said that the lineup for Smash Brothers Ultimate's DLC has already been set. And not only has it been decided, those fighters that are selected for DLC are actually selected by Nintendo themselves. So Sakurai made it seem like it wasn't his decision on what fighters were incorporated. It was actually Nintendo's decision. So, of course, people started wondering if that means that it's only going to be first-party Nintendo characters that are going to be featured, or if they have some negotiations or some, like with third-party companies, something that they may be working on behind the doors to feature those characters as well. So that's what we're going to be delving into. So Dantes, go ahead and give us your take on this. I'll give you mine, and we'll try to figure who's that Smash character.
Yes, so we're going to play a little bit of a game today. We're going to try to see if we can predict the future. And we're going to say which characters are going to be in Smash, which are going to be the DLC characters. It's going to be a fun game. Of course, we're not betting because Caleones never completes his bets. But at least we're going to have a fun competition. And we'll see who gets the most points. And we'll see who has the most psychic powers, of course. But let me start with all 5 characters, what Sakurai stated. And there's like an underlying message here that I think some of the hardcore Smash fans need to take. The first message that I'm seeing the Sakurai is saying is, please leave me alone. The 5 characters have already been picked. Don't start the whole, oh my God, I want this character, I want this character. He's basically saying straight out, dude, the characters were picked. There's not going to be crazy characters. There's not going to be Gino. Or there's not going to be Banjo-Kazooie. It's going to be Nintendo characters. That's what I believe. It's kind of like the underlying message to me is I think he's getting a little bit tired of the Smash hardcore fan base. A little bit. Hey, Historian, long time no see. Welcome to the stream. But anyway, like I was saying, so that's the first message that we can take for. The second is that I think the DLC characters may have a little bit of a purpose. And let me explain what I mean. There may be some big Nintendo games, and you know Smash has always been a great platform to how we call it, promote the franchises that you want to hit. You know, maybe one of those DLC characters could be one of the new characters from Fire Emblem that's coming out next year, right, Caleones? You could see that. You could foresee how that could happen. So I could foresee that there's going to be a tie-in. And if there's third-party characters, if any, which I don't think, I'm honestly calling it that I don't think there's going to be any third-party characters. But for the purpose of this list, we'll see if I can put a third-party character or not, is I believe that it's going to be tied up to a game that they're promoting, and maybe they pay Nintendo a ton of cash to say, hey, Nintendo, please put this character in Smash. We're gonna put some money. And, of course, Nintendo's not stupid. They're here to make money. And then, again, that's part of the tied up maybe. That's the 2 things that I thought Sakurai kind of stated with the message. The 5 characters already have been picked. Anything, Caleones, that you want to say about Sakurai's statement?
Well, I don't know how many times we've said before, but we keep saying, please leave the man alone. He is working hard. He's trying to get the other game out there. He's featured the most character the franchises has ever had by far, and by including all the previous characters from the previous games, your favorite is going to be on there already. I know that you're asking for more characters to be added as well, but I'm pretty sure there's got to be one. I mean, if there's going to be 80 characters at least on the game, so there's got to be one at least on there. But I don't know. Like, oh yes, Historian. Okay, yeah, he's referencing one of the tweets that we made on there, because the McDonald's actually came out of their way and they did confirm. So I'm not going to be talking about this character here, but they did confirm that Ronald McDonald is not one of the DLC Smash characters. So we went ahead and just scratched that off. So we're not going to be talking about Ronald McDonald, since McDonald's did confirm he's not going to be there. But I was thanking him for basically making it like helping us, not included on our list. So I gotta find that out. So I'm trying to say it was featured on the news article. So hey, if you can find the link, that would be great, so we can put it on here. Just have a laugh out of it. But Dantes, just so you know, Ronald McDonald is not going to be it. He's not going to be featured, so we can scratch him off. But the other thing I was saying is that with 5 DLC characters, this is very important, because one of the reasons why Bayonetta was included on Smash is because there was a Bayonetta game coming out for the Wii U. So it was, like you said, it is a bridge of being able to promote certain characters, because if they're on Smash, everybody's going to know about them. They're going to research the character. They're going to try to find out where that character's from. And if that character is attached to a game, then even better, because it helps the game get more exposure and helps the game potentially, you would think, to sell better. So I mean, it does make sense like that, and this might be the kind of things that Nintendo may be trying to decide while they have new games coming out. But I mean, I think it could be a mixture of first party and third party characters. I don't think they're all going to be only first party characters.
Okay. So we shall see if it's true, if there's going to be a character or not. But we shall see. It's going to be an interesting list, and see if this time it's going to be something new, something crazy, or what I believe is going to be something simple. But anyway, with that said, Caleones, let's start doing this kind of competition, minimal competition, of course, and let's see who nails the nail in the coffin, who has the most psychic powers, and whoever wins, we should play the lotto to see if we can do better, because really it's bad. It's bad. I need some money from the lotto. Anyway, Caleones, do you want to start with your first character that you feel is gonna show up in Smash DLC?
Yes. Okay, so my first character that's going to be on the list, and it could be one or two, or you can have a regular character and an Echo fighter based on it, or kind of like they're doing with the Pokemon fighters, where you have the male and the female. So I believe the first one is going to be due to a port that should be coming out on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not saying that I've heard anything, but I believe that Wii U port is going to be made on the Nintendo Switch. We've already had plenty of those, and I believe the next port that's going to be coming is Wonderful 101. So you can add Mr. Wonderful Red or Pink to that, to the cast of the DLC.
Okay, Wonderful 101. That's a rough one right there. So we shall see. We shall see. Let me start with my first one, and I think I'll put it this way, right? It's no doubt that maybe some people know who watch this podcast or listen to this podcast, because you can listen to this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes, cheap plug. Then I'm a big Xenoblade fan, so of course the first character that I'm saying that should be there is Rex and Pyra and Mythra. And
of course.
It's obvious that I was going to say that. And here's the reason why. Sakurai, in his direct, even though people are going to say, but it's already a Mii costume. There have been characters who have Mii costumes that are still made the roster. Let's start there. But second, he didn't have to do it, Caleones, because it could be that he could stay quiet. Xenoblade is not a big franchise, so who cares? He doesn't care about it, or Nintendo could not care about it. My point is that he spent time and said, "I'm sorry that we did not put Rex in this game, because Rex was being developed during the time that we were making Ultimate, and the fighters had been already selected at that time." He didn't have to do that, Caleones. Did he have to do that? No. And he spent time and said, "I'm sorry, here's some Mii costumes." So in my head, that is, I'm going to spend some time, creating Rex. And Rex could have a great character. And here's how Rex, you could do Rex two ways. You can do Rex in be like the Ice Climbers, where you can use two characters at the same time. That could be complicated. Or B, you could use Rex as a Pokemon trainer, and let me explain. So the Pokemon trainer, what does he do? He stays in the background while the Pokemon fights, right? So imagine it in reverse. How did the blades work in Xenoblade? It was the character in the background in support while Rex fight. So imagine Pyra in the background supporting Rex while he fights, and then she can get, when you do special moves, then she can get involved in the fight. So that way, you can still keep it simple, have a way that don't make it too complicated, and still create Rex as a character. So that's how I see that could happen. And then to me, your final smash should be she turning into Mythra and just laying the smack down on their candy ass. So again, That would be the Smash. I'm saying. And now Historian is saying the Rex has been deconfirmed. Hey, fam, send me that news article because I haven't heard. So I'm still holding hope. Anyway, Caleones, what do you think about my pick? Anything you want to add? And then you can go to your number 2 pick.
Well, I mean, that's the one that you've been technically smash begging for over a year. And just saying it over and over again. As soon as actually not over a year because it hasn't been a year since Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out. But you've been very adamant about trying to push for that character over and over again. Wanted the character to be included on there, and of course you want all 3 of them because they kind of like come all together. And I know like because they all come together, that's probably why I would relate more to him than somebody like Shulk or somebody else. Like, Rex is the man.
No, you can't relate to Shulk because you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which is still boggles my mind to this day.
Even
but
if
anyway,
I play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I'm still going to be relating to Rex. He's my hero.
No, it's not because you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1. You don't know that. So you can't make assumptions without playing Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Anyway, this is about Smash. Keep going.
Does he have a Pyra and a Mitra? Does Shulk have that?
He does not. No, he does not. But he has a Fiora. So leave him alone. He doesn't need 2 women. He can have. Trust me. If you're married out there, you know that 1 is enough. Anyway, go ahead, Caleones, with your next choice.
Okay, so my next choice, and I'm going to be going over to a third-party game. And this is going to be, the character to be decided because I'm not exactly sure who the main character of the game is going to be, but I believe that this would be a great way for Nintendo to start promoting the next game that's going to be exclusive, kind of like Octopath Traveler, which is on Nintendo Switch exclusive from Square Enix. This one is going to be a different game from a different company, but I believe the main character from the Shin Megami Tensei series, Shin Megami Tensei 5, will be featured on Smash.
And who's that? Just a new character, you're saying?
Well, I mean, it all depends. Because they haven't said if it's going to be a direct sequel from one of the other games or if it's going to be a new story on there. So, but whoever that character is going to be, I believe is going to be associated with the Smash game.
Okay. We shall see. I have not much to say because he just said a new character. I can't tell if it's new moves or whatever. Anyway, let me go to mine. And interesting, I have my list up here. I've been thinking about it while I work on it. Okay, I'm gonna pick if I'm gonna pick a character. I don't remember if he's there, but I think so. Since they've been running through the gambit of Mario characters, right? Which character of Mario is missing? Tell me, Caleones. They put Piranha Plant. So, which one's missing from the heroes?
Well, the heroes.
Yeah, from the heroes aspect.
It depends which skin you want to use. Do you want to use the regular Toad or the Captain Toad?
No. Just think about it. Think about it. Which Toad, right?
Yeah.
Is Toad a fighter?
But he doesn't jump, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Is Toad a fighter? Yes or no on Smash?
No.
Okay, so my pick, a pretty solid pick, I must say, is Toad. Toad is going to be the next fighter. You got Luigi, you got Mario, you got the princess. Where's the love for Toad? Come on, people. Toad. Come on, he's that guy 69. Toad is not annoying. And Captain Toad just came out just a little bit ago, right, Caleones? Captain Toad is the one character that is going to be on Smash. He can pick, like, fruits from the ground, throw them. He can annoy people with he can have, like a big light in his hat, and it just flashes and leaves you blind for 2 seconds. That's his Smash. Right there. Toad is ready to battle in Smash. Dick, Waluigi's not happening, Dick. You guys have to let him go. Let Waluigi go. But right there, Toad. Toad. It's coming to Smash. Solid pick, right, Caleones? Huh? Think about it. Just saying. You got Piranha Plant. You should be able to get Toad in there. Anyway, Caleones, what were your thoughts? Anything to add? And then go to your number 3rd.
Okay, so I mean, it feels like he's been kind of a little underappreciated. I mean, he's not featuring Smash, and he's one that should definitely be there. It's going to be difficult because you have the regular Toad, you have the Captain Toad, so there's different versions that you may be able to choose. So it really all depends on which one they go with. But yeah, definitely at some point I believe that he will be added on there. But one of the other characters that I believe should be on there.
Number third for Caleones.
Yeah, and I believe that this is going to be a pretty good combination because you know how on certain characters you shuffle in between the different powers that they have. In the example of Shulk, that you can actually do that. But for this character, instead of shuffling to the different powers of the character itself, you actually shuffle the character. So that way you have a specific power attached to that character. And this is going to be a combination of 4 characters in one. So once you change powers, it becomes a new champion. And of course, I'm talking about the champions from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I believe that's going to be a pretty good combination of changing in between those characters.
All 4 champions or one of them?
All 4 of them.
All 4 of them?
So you're going to have one single character. And as soon as you switch to a different power,
I'm winning this. This is so
the
easy.
skin changes to
are trash, fam. They're bad. Anyway, keep going, kind of. Sorry about that.
No, I mean it will be a cool concept because instead of changing powers, you actually change characters and with the attached powers to them. So I believe something like that, should be considered for Smash.
Caleones is saying the one character. I don't know how you would do that, Caleones, really, because there were never 4 characters. I don't think that would work out. But anyway, we have Wii Fit Trainer as a fighter, so I mean anything can happen. And the champion characters would be cooler, but at least I could say maybe one of them could show up. Not all 4 of them in one character, because I don't think that would work, in my opinion. Is that guy 69 wants to be a moderator? I'll let Caleones. Caleones typically decides the moderator role. So, Caleones, you can decide since this is special episode 69, you can decide for is that guy 69. You're muted. Just in case.
Yeah, I believe that today might be a pretty good day for us to allow Mr. 69 to moderate. That way, it can be either a one-time thing, or if everything goes well, then we can allow him to extend himself or exert himself past his 69 status. So let me go ahead and bestow upon him.
Okay.
Actually,
so what Caleones does that, let's talk about my number 3rd character, Caleones. And I think I'm gonna say something special and weird again, but I think I'm taking more safe picks where Caleones is in La La Land. The other character that I believe could happen. Everybody's saying Gino. Gino's not happening. It's not happening, pips. The character from Mario RPG that is going to be coming in, it's going to be Paper Mario. Paper Mario is joining the fight. Paper Mario, imagine with his powers, with stickers, and evading by turning himself really skinny. Could be a great character. Could be a fun character. Pulling out the hammer. Paper Mario. Caleones. Paper Mario. It's joining the fight. His smash is going to be like a wraparound where he just turns into a sticker, wraps around against the character, and just bouncing him around, throwing him off the screen. But anyway, I know Dick, Malo, Gino, all those characters, great for Mario RPG, but that's Square. Square's not going to be putting all characters that they're not promoting anymore. I'm telling you right now. So Nintendo's going to put their own Mario RPG character in Paper Mario. Paper Mario is the character who's joining the fight. You got Dr. Mario, right? So you could have Paper Mario, right, Caleones? So anyway, go ahead, Caleones. That's my number 3rd pick. So another solid pick. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I mean, I was gonna continue to say some off the wall characters as well, but like something that you could technically consider would be a pretty good addition would be Epona to the to the game, and have
Epona?
her like
Is that your
horse
number 4
kicking everybody.
character?
But no, I'm not gonna go with Epona. I'm gonna go with a safer roster of characters, and I'm gonna actually go to another fighting game where yes, we have some of those characters already included on there as kind of like assist trophies and things like that. But then they can, of course, always move from that status over to full-fledged fighters. And I'm talking about Springman and Ribbon Girl from the Arms fighting game. So I believe that
Finally, you have a pick that makes sense, Caleones.
Yeah,
I had it on my list.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to figure something else now. You screwed on my list, but yes, I agree with that. That's a solid pick. See, finally, Caleones says something that makes sense. Go ahead, Caleones. Keep going.
No, I mean just saying that. Pretty much the movesets are already known, so people are already familiar with those characters. Those have who have already played the game or seen the trailers or things like that. So it's not going to be hard to make the transition over, except for like I said, that they're like trophies and and things like that, and moving over to full-fledged characters. But it'll be fun. I think that they will be part. I mean, they'll be a pretty good addition to the Smash roster, and they will feel at home with all the other the entire characters as well.
So is that guy 69? 69 has good taste, and he said Paper Mario honestly sounds good. So appreciate it. I mean, it sounds fire. I'm just telling you. Think about it. Paper Mario. You have Dr. Mario there. You have regular Mario. Why you can't have Paper Mario? I mean, it just makes sense. Representing your main mascot, Mario. You put Piranha Plant in there. So come on. They're just putting anything from Mario right now. But anyway, I do agree 100% with Caleones' pick. That is maybe his best solid pick that he has. But we shall see. Caleones, I guess you're gonna have to. Now I'm gonna be scrambling a little bit for my picks, but I'm gonna go. I was planning to pick one third-party character, Caleones, and everybody saying Gino, saying Malo. I think there's gonna be a Square character in this. You have already Mr. Cloud Strife there, right? But what is the game that could lead into the first stepping stone in announcing the full game collection to Nintendo system?
And let me guess which one you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
It has to do with lightning.
No, hell no.
That's
hell
the only
no.
one, because there's already a full collection.
Hell
no.
Games
out there.
No.
They came out on the PS3, so they'll be pretty easy to port over to the Nintendo Switch. We're already getting all the other games, most of them except for Final Fantasy VIII, up to Final Fantasy number 12. So it's only right that you take the next step on there and go from 12 over.
No lightning. No. It's gonna be Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and that is the perfect time to announce the Kingdom Hearts collection, and we're back, the Kingdom Hearts collection to the Switch. Maybe you don't get Kingdom Hearts 3 and you're thinking about it, but you're going to promote the new Kingdom Hearts collection, the full game, their history. Kingdom Hearts have been in the system. Kingdom Hearts Sora has a higher chance of joining the fight than Malo or Gino or any of those old characters from Square Mario RPG. Caleones, anything to add about Sora?
Well, the games could definitely be done for the system, even though Kingdom Hearts 3 would take the most work to adapt it over. But I still believe that Lightning it's made for it. It's made for the game. Yeah,
no
Sora
one cares
without
about Final Fantasy 13.
Sora without Mickey, without Donald. Well, actually, especially without Donald and Goofy. What is Sora gonna do? Sora is not gonna be there.
I know that. It probably a high chance, but I'm just telling you which character. There's a chance. There's still a chance. There's a better chance of Sora joining the fight than a fictitious character from Shin Megami Tensei that hasn't been even announced or the game hasn't been announced. That's what I'm saying. So Sora has a higher chance showing up. And there's already Cloud there. And if Nintendo does it smart, Square is smart, they would do the Kingdom Hearts collection when they do the announcement of Sora joining the fight. That's gold right there. That's money, Caleones. Kingdom Hearts. It's gonna be big next year. And needs to go to the Switch. Xbox doesn't deserve Kingdom Hearts. No one's gonna buy that on Xbox. It should be on Nintendo console. Anyway, Caleones. That's number 4 for me. Go ahead and give your number 5 and last character.
Okay, so going over with the number 5 character on the list, and it's gonna feel like a cop out because I'm gonna talk about one that everybody else is talking about. That they're saying that it's gonna be here, that it has been rumored by a lot of people as well. But I really believe that the Microsoft and Nintendo relationship is pretty strong, and that the character is gonna be there for a reason. So I'm not talking about Steve because Steve is already on every console in the world, kind of like like Skyrim game where it's everywhere. So Nintendo's not going to be worried about Steve being on the roster, but and Microsoft doesn't need help selling Minecraft because it sells by itself. But there might be a chance that Microsoft is working on a new sequel to an old character that has been previously with Nintendo and that was featured on the Nintendo 64. And also you have the Nintendo 64 Classic perhaps being announced either this year or next, and at some point it's going to be coming out, and Nintendo wants to release the Classic with the very best games that came out on the system. And in order to have those games on the system, you need to have some rare games. So of course, it would be a pretty good move between Microsoft and Nintendo to allow Banjo-Kazooie to be featured on Smash because it helps promote a new Banjo-Kazooie game on the Xbox as well as the Nintendo 64 Classic having the Banjo-Kazooie game featured on it as well. So I know that it's not really that popular. I already said my off-the-wall characters, but I believe that one will be featured on the game.
4 out of your 5 characters are off the wall, honestly. The only one you were close is Springman, which is I had on my list, and I'm struggling to find one. But Cool Drummer, of course, says that I'm right, about Kingdom Hearts. Thank you, Cool Drummer. Appreciate your support. And everybody's saying I'm right. I'm killing this. This is a no contest. Like this is destroying Caleones again. Because of course he's not gonna pay the piper for Dancing Despacito. He owes it. He lost close to 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Our E3 predictions, and I'm still waiting for it. Someday maybe. But I'm not doing another bet with Caleones until he pays the original bet. But anyway, this sounds like victory for me. Anyway, Caleones, that's fine. That's Banjo-Kazooie. You wanted Banjo-Kazooie. I am struggling right now. So I'm going to go with a off-the-wall character again because I'm a third-party guy. I thought it was 4. But I'm thinking, what Nintendo's bringing out next year that could... you know what? I'm going to say the last character. And I don't know what it's going to be. But I think it's going to be from that game. And I'm going to say it's going to be a new Pokemon for the new Pokemon generation game next year. So they're going to announce with the DOC one of the new Pokemon, and it's going to be a fighter in Smash, and it's going to be the new gen Pokemon that the game is coming out next year to promote Pokemon at the same time. Caleones, what do you think about that to close my 5 picks?
Well, I mean, it depends on what type of Pokemon it is. If it's going to be one, or I mean, it's not going to be one, so there's probably going to be 20 new Pokemon coming out of the game. So there's always
your internet's probably bad, dude, because you're skipping as hell. But anyway, keep going. But yeah, you won't shut down the stream right now, so keep going.
I mean, just talking about those characters, like It's I think it would be a pretty good idea to do it. They've already done it before. They had the Pokemon tournament game. Maybe one of the Pokemon tournament Pokemons that are found on there would be pretty good addition to it. But I believe that it's not that off the mark. There's always a possibility that they could be including a new Pokemon, especially since they added Incineroar on especially announced on the latest direct.
Yeah, there's a chance you get one more Pokemon. And I bet you, again, Smash is a great promotional tool for the new games. And next year's a new Pokemon game. And Sakurai said that this will take the whole year to roll out the new characters, Caleones. So I could see that one of the last remaining characters be announced at the same time as Pokemon. Anyway, with that, I think we're done with our picks. We'll see who wins. People in the chat, can you type in who was the best in picking? Who was the best in saying which characters you would like to see? And if you want to, please type into what are your 5 characters that you think Sakurai will put in there for Smash DLC. And with that, Caleones, I think, unless you want to add anything, let's go to the next hot topic as we continue this beautiful, beautiful show.
Okay, I just had to post a question on there so they can tell us what 5 characters do they think will be added to Smash. But we can finally move over to the next one, and this one is talking about that the Nintendo president is looking to quote unquote to boost the appeal of the Switch system.
Wait, one second. Jeff, what age are you? First, I have to know the age, because if you're under 21, I'm not gonna be proud of you. If you're higher than 21, I'm proud of you. Anyway, keep going, Caleones.
I think he's 14, but yeah, definitely not 21.
No, I'm not proud of you. You have to follow the law. Anyway, go ahead, Caleones. I do not promote underage drinking in this podcast. Go ahead, Caleones.
Unless you're from a different country and they allow it. So whatever law governs you, you should follow that. But just going with the specific quote, and it's this. It says that our focus, and this is coming from Nintendo's president, he said, our focus at this point is on boosting the appeal of the service. We need to further enhance the content of the service for the subscriber base to reach a certain size. So that is what we're working on, with the understanding that the time it will take to do so will be measured in years. And of course, this is talking about Nintendo Switch Online, the online subscription, and it is something that they're charging a certain amount of game, for the service, depending on if you take it, a month, 3 months, a year, family plan. But some people have questioned the value of it, even though you're not paying that much for the service. But there's certain things that are not there. So, for example, one of them is being able to like a messaging service, so you can message through the system, having the voice chat in the system itself instead of having to use the Switch online app. And even the cloud service doesn't really cover all the games. So games like Splatoon 2 are not covered by the cloud service. So that's the question that we have up until this point. What do you think the president, the Nintendo president, is going to be doing to try to boost the appeal? Is there anything that can be done to make people more comfortable with it? Anything that they can get from Microsoft or from Sony that they've already done that should be done on the Switch? So what are your thoughts about this, Dantes?
Do you want to add the other subject that you want to touch that the president talked about too? So let's merge them both together.
And you can go ahead and mention it as well on your as you answer those things.
No, well, you're the one who brought that subject up. I don't even remember what was it.
It was the things that we have on here is talking about just the Switch Online. He doesn't really mention anything else on this article. And then after this article, we're actually jumping to the quote unquote revenue.
No. I thought you had a topic that you wanted to talk about. Remember we talked about it a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but it doesn't really tie in with the Switch Online. It's a different kind of topic. It's talking about the Switch itself. And the thing is that we've already seen like these type of success from Nintendo before, and we saw it with the Wii. where the Wii actually had a Zelda game which was postponed on the GameCube, so it could launch on the Wii as well. It was Twilight Princess. Then you had games like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which were great on the system. And you had the Xenoblade Chronicles first one, which didn't really come out on the US until much later. But even though the system has had this success, something that hurt the Wii was that it wasn't HD compatible in a sense. So it didn't have HDMI cable, so it really couldn't go to to the lengths that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were going, where they were offering like high definition on out of their game. So in this case, it's not going to be high definition per se, but it's going to be more so a separation of power, because you're going to go pretty soon, maybe in 2019, maybe in 2020, from the PS4 to the PS5, and from the Xbox One to the Xbox 2, or whatever Microsoft calls it. So whatever gap there is between the Switch and the PS4 and the Xbox One right now, especially the PS4 Pro and the X, is going to get even bigger once those new systems comes out. So is Nintendo in danger? Is the Nintendo Switch in danger of becoming the Wii, or is Nintendo preparing something and getting ready for those new systems so they can kind of like counterattack and be prepared so that the Switch brand can continue selling? So that was the what I wanted to talk about as well. So you can I guess you can go ahead and combine those two and give us your thoughts about it.
Well, it's a combination, Caleones, right? Because first they're saying that they want to build the online, but they're so behind on the online. So already with their online services, they are like the Wii, where Microsoft and Sony are just way ahead of the game. Nintendo still have a lot of features to go through. And it's still frustrating, Caleones, that they're still talking about this is going to take a while, that we're going to have to build the service. What do you have to build it? You have the blueprint from the other two companies. So they're already way behind the game online. And I just don't see that why are you making people pay if your online is not up to snuff? You need voice chat. You need dedicated servers. You need a lot of stuff, and it just doesn't have it. They should have started like Sony. So, hey, Sony had crappy online or services, you could say, last gen, and they didn't charge last gen. They offer you a service. They say, hey, if you want PlayStation Plus, you can get some perks with it, but online still free. When they had their service, that you could call it, I still don't agree with it. I still think online gaming should be free, like PC. But then when they had it up to snuff, where they have the services, where they have the voice, voice chat ready and all that stuff. And when I mean voice chat, I mean, what do you call that? But anyway, the voice chat that you can play when you play any game, you can voice chat any game. So and talk to people. So Sony always had in-game voice chat for the game specifically. You just didn't have crossover voice chat and stuff like that. But they had all that stuff. They put it in, and then they charge for the online. See, that's the difference, Caleones. Nintendo, they say, I'm blocking online, but I'm not giving you anything for it. I think they should have started like Sony, offer up the NES Classics or whatever service, offer up some perks, and call it the Nintendo online service or whatever, Nintendo service or whatever you want to call it, Nintendo Now, whatever you want to call it, and then charge online when your stuff was up to snuff. Because right now you have cut, because a lot of people who own the system are kids. You're cutting a lot of the fans or a lot of people from playing the game. Right now we got people from our...
And we even lost Dig, even though he already got it, but we lost Dig on some of the Splatoon 2 tournaments because he didn't have the online.
That's what I'm saying. We lost people who are saying, I wish I could play with you guys. I don't have the online. So you're taking away from the install base of online players. Nintendo, remember, it's not like your system is like has a huge install base. Your Mario Kart and games like that may have, because that's what the games that they're going to play when they play Nintendo, but you're cutting still a lot of that pool of possible players. Nintendo games are not crossplay. They're not going to be playing Nintendo games with other systems, so you're really taking away. and then games could lose a lot of people, and then the online could be dead faster than you want it to be. Just saying. So that's one of the reasons why they are looking like the Wii. The second is power. If PlayStation 5 and Xbox One comes out, is Nintendo like the Wii? In a sense, it already is. And it's not taking a dick, but when we talk about revenue, you're gonna see the difference of revenue because the Switch is just underpowered, so they don't get all the third-party games that they could possibly get to sell that software and make that money, because that's where you make the money. So it already is. Now the question is, can they at least get some third-party and survive with something? They can if the Pro comes out. If the Pro doesn't come out, then yes, they're in deep problem, because when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever it's called comes out, it's the difference is going to be huge, Caleones. So then they're not going to get any third party. They may get some third party of games that are still being made for both gens, Gen 4 and Gen 5, like we saw on the PlayStation 4 generation. For the first 2 years, you saw a lot of cross-gen games, Caleones. But after 2 years, then you're done. So Nintendo needs to think about that future and make sure that they have the fan base, they have this right hardware to handle, because as you've seen, third party is important. A lot of Nintendo fans for years, I don't care about third party. I don't care about third party. We don't need third party. That was just a defensive mechanism that you were using to defend and damage control for your company. But now that you're getting some third party, you can see the excitement. And you can see the games selling, the third party games. Like Octopath Traveler, to give you an example, even though it's an exclusive, it's a third party game. Or the indies are selling really well on the Switch. So that means that you guys always wanted third party. But now, in years past, it was kind of hypocrites saying, well, we don't need third party. Nintendo games is enough. The Wii U is proven. The exclusives alone won't carry a system. Okay? Just to give you a heads up. I'm sorry. The Wii was lucky because they had a different way of playing and they brought out the casuals, but they were not selling the software. And that is the reality of it. So they just got lucky with the Wii. So this is the first hardcore system. And it's showing the third party does help system grow. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop ranting and let Caleones speak about all those things. I know there's a lot of subjects at one, but I'll let Caleones touch upon them.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's Nintendo is always running the danger, not only by releasing kind of, like mid-generation, because they did release mid-generation, and it's because they actually had to. The Wii U wasn't really a success. I mean, it really wasn't. And even though, first-party games were selling on the system, but when you have a 13 million install base, you sell a whole lot less than you would if you had 100 million systems out there. So they had to push the Switch. They had to get it out as soon as they did. And by doing it, so yes, you have the portability, the handheld, / home console and everything, which it really helps the Switch be unique, and it is a great selling point. But at some point, people are gonna go like, there is too big of a gap in between the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Switch, and maybe the gap is going to be so big that for some people it's not really going to justify them continuing to support the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to force them to move on to the next console. And that happens a lot, especially here in the US, because people are all about graphics and how the game looks and all of that. So I mean, if you think that a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 looks great on the Xbox One X, imagine 2-3 years from now when a new Xbox and the new PlayStation comes out, how that game is going to look. So yeah, it's just going to be too big of a gap that Nintendo just cannot sit idle on the Switch for the next 3-4 years, and they have to come up with something like the Switch Pro, or come out with a dock that gives them the supplemental power to, at the very least, play games that are very demanding at home, or something like that. They have to do something. They cannot just sit down on it. And this is talking about the console, talking about the Switch Online. Something that is working great for Xbox and that we're going to be referencing on next topic as well is Game Pass, and it's making them a lot of money. Nintendo has the library of games to make something like that happen and work, but they're not ready right now. And it's surprising that they're not ready because they had so much time to get ready. They've seen how those things work for years. Game Pass, no, not so much because it hasn't been around for probably like a year or so. But as far as the services, they've been around for years. Xbox Live since like 2002. I believe the PlayStation Network since 2006. So it's been over 10 years for both of them. Nintendo should have seen enough from them that they know what works, what doesn't work, and they could have incorporated it. So yes, they have to be careful. They cannot sit idle. They need to continue to evolve. I believe the Switch is great. Like the concept that Nintendo has as a console, they need to continue with that. They have to continue with that. But we just have to see how they're going to do it because by having a handheld slash home console, you are limited on how much you can put in it. And we know that Nintendo is not going to be spending a lot on the console because they don't want to sell a console at a loss. They want to make sure that they recoup the money when they sell the console, or that they're going to have some sort of profit out of it. So, what could happen is that the Nintendo Switch will become the quote unquote handheld, which is going to be for anybody who wants to get it, or more geared towards the two kids. But we're going to get a Switch Pro, which is the one that all of us are going to eventually migrate over to. They're going to continue, to count the sales together, like Sony does with the PlayStation for the Slim and the Pro, because it sounds better if you say that you sold X amount of consoles all together, but they need to evolve. They need to go to a Pro, and they need to do it sooner than later.
Okay, so I think we both agree. Not much difference. I think it's just heartbreaking that Nintendo's still saying, "Oh, so the online service, we want to expand it, growing." And I'm like, really, guys, you should not take this is not this hard. Really, it's not this hard. And I was gonna bring another example why the Wii was a fluke and why grandma bought it and then just threw it to collect dust once they finished playing Wii Sports. Zelda Skyward Sword only sold, I believe, around 2 million units or games with an install base of 100 million, compared to Breath of the Wild, who sold over 10 million already on a way less install base. And that's where you can see the difference of hardcore and casual buying games. The Wii, even though I defend it, Caleones knows it, I love the Wii, they made a lot of mistakes. Not being HD was one of them, and catering to the casual crowd who left them for mobile was the other mistake. We shall see if Nintendo can recover. But now we're going to touch with revenue, which I think leads on, all what I'm saying leads on to exactly what I'm going to talk about. But go ahead, Caleones. I gave you 2 articles. You can pick whatever. My Nintendo News, which we use it a lot for this, our articles gave us like an overall list of all the companies. So maybe you should use that one as simple, and then we can go through them.
But just to clarify, Skyward Sword is listed on VG charts as selling 3.96 million. So okay, we can give it 4 million. But 4 million is still...
Give it the 4 million.
Yeah, 4 million on 100 million consoles. And then you have Breath of the Wild selling over 10 million on roughly 25 million. So technically, if you have 100 million consoles, Breath of the Wild could as long as a copy. So yeah, it's this wasn't there. Like you said, the hardcore crowd wasn't picking up the games and supporting them like that they are now. So, and I gotta commend them, because first party and third party games, they are supporting them. Indie games, they're supporting them on the Switch. But Nintendo needs to make sure that the gap doesn't become too big, that support is going to thin out and disappear. But going over to the next one, and this is talking about revenue. So, of course, we're talking about an article that came out talking about the top 10 gaming companies and how they are, what the revenues are tied up to them. Of course, we're going to specifically talk about Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. And Dantes shared this article with me. He said that he was actually very surprised at especially where Microsoft and Nintendo are located. And out of the 10 companies, and I'm just going to say the 10, and then we're going to go with specifically with the numbers for, like Nintendo and the others. But number one is Tencent, which is really big in Europe. And the game that I play, Arena of Valor, is actually made by Tencent. It is a game that's extremely big in China, and they have other games as well. Mobile games specifically, they're moving over to the console crowd as well. But that's Tencent for you. Number two is Sony. Everybody knows Sony. Number three is Apple. Number four, and this is a surprise, Microsoft. Microsoft is actually at number four. Then you have Activision Blizzard, number five. You have NetEase, number six. Google at 7, EA at 4, Nintendo came in at number 9, and Bandai Namco at number 10. So, Dantes, go ahead and tell me what tell them what you told me before. Like, what do you think about this chart? What surprised you the most?
Can you say first, before we go into that, can you say just the numbers for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo?
Okay, so for Sony, they had the revenue for 2017, it was actually 4.48 billion, and that went up to 6.18 for 2018. 6.18 billion revenue. So that's an increase of almost 2 billion year on year. You have Microsoft, which they had 3.28 billion for 2017, and they jumped off 3.2 billion 2017, and then they went to 4.2 billion in 2018, an increase of 1 billion. And for Nintendo, they had 1.28 billion or 1.2 billion for 2017, and then they went up to 1.5 billion in 2018. So go ahead, Dantes.
Okay, so here's why I was so surprised, right? Mindshare wise, I'm just saying mindshare wise. Everybody knows the Sony's number one right now this generation, and I think no one doubts that, just because we put in our head console sales is the number one company who's winning, which is fine. That's fine. That's, in this case, by luck, it is equally representative of the revenue because Sony is number one this generation, right? But then if you think about it, Xbox One and Nintendo, who has more mindshare, in my opinion? Nintendo has more mindshare. They're exclusives because, again, Microsoft has non-exclusives, but that could change now that they bought so many studios. But Nintendo has the exclusive, and they're selling over 10, 11 million. So they're making the money, right? And the Switch, I believe, the way it's selling, should surpass the Xbox One by, I would say, 2 years. Let me put 2 years. If they keep selling the way they are, Switch should be outselling the Xbox. Let's just say the Xbox is around 40 to 45 million. It's already halfway there, the Switch, of the Xbox in way less time than the Xbox itself. So you think about it, the Switch is selling faster, right? But then when you look at the numbers of revenue, the Xbox is double in size of the Switch. And then I stepped back and went, okay, why is that? Why is Xbox so much bigger than Nintendo? Then you start thinking about, well, you got Xbox Live, who forces people to buy the online, which Sony does too. Let me clarify. So it's the same. But then now Xbox also have Game Pass, which again, you pay for $10 and you get to play a lot of games like a Netflix service. That is something new. For PlayStation also have PlayStation Now, which in theory is the same thing. It's just the Xbox does it right and Sony's still streaming, which kind of hurts the system. But Sony's changing because they're allowing now to download the game to their system, at least for PlayStation 4 games. So again, Sony itself sees the value in downloading the game, and I think that's going to change in the PS5 era more, Caleones. So you be ready for that. Sony's going to copy Microsoft in that survey. Microsoft and Sony copy themselves all the time, trust me. But anyway, you got those services, and then Microsoft said on their discussion to the investors that the reason they also made a lot of money was third-party games, thanks to the Xbox One X, have increased software sale because some people who don't have PC want the highest fidelity possible. And right now, which is the strongest system, Caleones? The Xbox One X. So where do you want to sell your third-party game? On the Xbox One X. Now, Sony's still winning in selling third-party games. Red Dead Redemption came out and it sold like around 60 to 70% on PlayStation. My memory fails me right now. So it's still selling more, but Microsoft got what they wanted because they know selling software is king. Was the reason why they did the Xbox One X, Caleones, is because they wanted to increase, and we talked about it in Force In Unison Live when that show was alive. We talked about it and said that they're not looking to beat Sony right now. They're just trying to see if they can sell more third party because that increases your bottom line, right? So that's why, to me, are the reasons why Microsoft is just double the size of Nintendo. Now, admittedly, Nintendo is a smaller company. Let me clarify. It does not mean that because Nintendo is only making 1.5 billion that they're, oh my God, it's the end of the world. For the size of the company, for the operating, how they operate, what is the operating cost? We don't know that. Remember, guys, this is revenue. We don't know the operating cost of these companies overall, right? For that specific. Like, give you an example, Sony. They're making $6 billion, but Sony's a big company, and other places are sucking that money out of the way. Like, give you an example, the movie division, which have shows on losses, right? So if the movie division sucks the benefits of your PlayStation division right now, I'm telling you guys the truth. I love PlayStation, but I'm always concerned about Sony because if PlayStation falls, the whole company just trembles, right? Microsoft does not care. If Microsoft, Xbox falls, Microsoft has other places to make the money. Trust me, they're fine. But Nintendo is a smaller company, to clarify, and Nintendo being a smaller company, they also are the risk of if their consoles are not successful, they can lose a lot of money. But at the same time, they're a smaller company. And if you guys remember when the Wii U was struggling, Iwata itself cut his salary in half to be able to support the losses. So again, a smaller company can do that. Sony couldn't do that because even if their executives do that, you got other divisions sucking the money out of it. That's why one time, and that still could happen someday, to clarify, guys, Sony was thinking of removing PlayStation completely from the Sony brand and making its own identity. So in case something major like that happened, you know, Sony can survive with PlayStation, and then Sony as a whole can find other strategies. Again, that's just discussions, but I don't know. We shall see if someday that happens. But anyway, my point to that is I was surprised. I thought mindshare-wise, Nintendo was either close to Microsoft, right, or even surpassing Microsoft in revenue. And that is not the case. But again, I brought all those examples, and what I talked before in the subject before, third-party games. It's just Microsoft, even though they're getting their ass kicked by Sony this generation, they still get, because they have their hardware, they get every third-party game. They get Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom freaking Hearts. And Kingdom Hearts has not shown up ever on a Microsoft console. Ever. Why in the hell would they get Kingdom Hearts and the Switch won't? It's power. It's easy to transfer a PlayStation game to an Xbox game. Simple as that. Compared to develop it for the Switch. So, and I know I'm rambling right now, but I'm just saying, just bringing those examples. Microsoft is doing enough that the games are selling well enough that every third-party game is going to show up in the Microsoft system. So what does Nintendo need to do? And we'll touch base. I want to let Caleones talk now, what he thinks about the numbers, and then we'll touch base on what does Nintendo needs to do to increase that revenue. If they need to. Maybe they don't need to. They're happy with that revenue, to clarify, based on their company. So I don't know, but we shall see. Caleones, go ahead. What are your thoughts, or overall thoughts on the numbers?
Well, I guess just Cedar Professor saying real quick that some people are still hoping that Kingdom Hearts 3 will come to PC. So yeah, that's probably not gonna happen, but
it may. It's a higher chance right now than the Switch.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Which would be surprising if they add Sora to Smash without having Kingdom Hearts 3 on the system. So, But we'll see about our predictions on there. But about this one is it all depends how Nintendo is wired, what they believe is real success, and how much they listen to their investors. Because they at some point their investors were talking about featuring their IPs on Microsoft and Sony systems because the Nintendo it was the going from the second half of the life of the Wii and then the entire life of the Wii U, and just before the Switch came out, Nintendo was on the red. They were having losses after losses after losses. Every time that they announced a new, earnings report, it was big losses. And yes, they had a bunch of capital saved up with like over something like over $10 billion and I'm talking about $10 billion in cash, separate, like separated, and not tied to any assets or anything. So, but still, the Nintendo brand has so much potential. I say that it is the best collection of IPs out there out of any gaming company, and that they could potentially, like stand toe to toe with something like Disney. I know that Disney now has added Marvel, they've added Star Wars, to their list of IPs, but if you go talk about the Disney characters, not the ones from Star Wars, from Marvel that were added later on, and you put that brand of like that collection of characters next to Nintendo's, it can stand neck and neck. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people that may know about Mario that they may know about Mickey at this point because of how big the video games are worldwide, and it's gonna get even bigger with the Mario movie coming out, which is rumored to be coming out around like 2021, 2022, something like that. You have the Nintendo Land Park or the Super Nintendo World in Japan and perhaps in Florida and California as well. So that's going to continue to grow. So on one side, I believe that Nintendo is doing the right thing by expanding their IPs. They're always going to be careful. They're always going to guard them, and they're always going to protect them from from things like the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out in the early '90s. So something like that doesn't happen again. But they are sitting on a gold mine of their entire back catalog, and the Game Pass is something that is making Microsoft so much money. People are willing to subscribe for something that costs them probably like $10 a month or something like that, and they are willing to do that because not only can they get newer games on there, but they can have access to Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, and Xbox One games. But with the Nintendo, you have the Nintendo, you have the Super Nintendo, you have the N64, you have the Wii, you have the Wii U, you have Switch, then you have the Game Boy, you have the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Colors, the Advance, then you have the DSs, the 3DSs, and all of those. You might be able to throw in the Virtual Boy as well, the Game and Watch original games and things like that. So they have such a big library of games and games that are timeless, that they're classics, and that people still like to go back and play. And a service like Game Pass would be absolutely perfect. The problem is that how they're, the way their network is constructed right now, they are not built for something like that. And they are leaving so much money on the table. Switch Online, it is a first step, but adding like 2 or 3 games a month that are Nintendo games. So you're still leaving the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and etc. So you're still leaving those games out there. Something as simple as Game Pass would make Nintendo such a big revenue that I believe they could easily surpass the 2 billion mark, and perhaps even more so. So yes, I do see them climbing up because of the movies, because of the park, and because of the Switch. Because the Switch is doing great. Like this is the gaming division, but because we're talking about gaming specifically, yes, the movies and the park are going to help people buy into the Nintendo brand and get their games and all of that. But they need to utilize that library of games that right now a lot of people are just playing pirated games because they don't release them anymore and they're just sitting on them. And it is a big gold mine. and they need to release a Game Pass service or something similar for the Switch.
Okay, so I guess Caleones also touched on how they can grow. I do agree that they have a lot of their IPs, and they're already doing that this could grow in more money for Nintendo, which is the Mario movie. There's a rumor Zelda TV show. So they're looking into other avenues on their IPs, and they can grow this brand even more.
And the announcement is going to be on the 16th. So on the 16th, we're finally going to know if it's going to be the Zelda, if it's another Nintendo IP, or if it's a different company and not Nintendo. So it's going to be in 5 days that we're going to know.
Oh, we shall see. We shall see. And that's what I'm saying. So I think Nintendo's already doing the right thing to expand. I don't think, to clarify, I don't think Nintendo needs to be in the Microsoft level or the Sony level to keep making a lot of money, right? Because admittedly, I prefer Nintendo staying like it is and their investors being happy, because that means that they're not forcing their games to have microtransactions, because that's an easy way to have a lot of money. Activision is in that list right now because of microtransactions, because in reality about it, they don't pull out that many games anymore, right? And it's microtransaction up the ass, right? So
I mean, that and Call of Duty.
Well, no, I know Call of Duty, but Call of Duty alone should not give you that much money. That's what I'm saying, competing with like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft on revenue, because they have microtransaction. And again, Nintendo could easily do microtransaction up the ass and get that money. They could easily do it. Now, the other part is that this revenue does not include online gaming. Now that they're charging, would that add to their revenue now too? Because again, their competitors are doing it, and it's sad. And those numbers are included in the revenue that Microsoft and Sony are making. So that's not included. I can see them adding to it. So that's, to me, how they can grow this. They can easily grow it by, I think Nintendo at some point need to give us a strong-ass system, and then they can try to get all the third-party support possible on their system. I believe at one point they have to do it, Caleones. They just can't keep having the weakest hardware and then not getting all the third-party support, because as you see with Microsoft right now, third-party sells on their system. So they're making money with that. So that's one. Two, they need to expand on their IPs. You're right. I believe Nintendo has the strongest naming of gaming IPs. Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Splatoon now, right? So Donkey Kong, they have all these characters and IPs that they could be easily making a lot of money from those characters. So expanding with movies and TV shows could be a good way to make that money on the side too. And then of course, I would say that I think those are the biggest two. I had another one, but I can't remember right now, so I'm sorry. But, to me, there's ways to expand. But again, Nintendo doesn't need to be that big to be where they are. They just need to compete, right? And like it or not, it's a competition, Caleones. They're competing against Nintendo and Microsoft. Against Sony and Microsoft. So they need to find ways to get that mind share. I was surprised how I was surprised how Microsoft has a bigger stronghold on the video game industry than I suspected, because mindshare wise, I would say the Switch will have that. And then again, brings me back to the Wii generation, that even though Nintendo sold the most consoles, doesn't mean that they made the more money, because their games, the software was not selling on that generation. If you were not a Nintendo game, if you were not like a Mario Kart that sold like 30 million games, you were not selling on the Wii if you were a third party, and Nintendo needs third party to sell in a sense. So anyway, with that, Caleones, anything to add?
Yeah, just saying that I know that people criticize Microsoft because they don't have a strong first party lineup on there, but it's and that's what drives Nintendo, is their first party. And now that the third party games are selling as well, and indie games are third party games on the system. But yes, it is surprising to a point, but Microsoft is actually taking chances, and with the Game Pass and those type of subscriptions, and it's paying off for them. And they're just laying down the blueprint for Nintendo to not just be inspired by the Xbox controller for the Switch Pro, but by establishing a Game Pass service on there, which would be great, would be awesome, and it would work. And Nintendo has the library of games to make it work.
Okay, with that, Caleones, hour and 15 today. It took us a while to get to hot topics. A lot of good hot topics today. It's time to move on, Caleones. It's a big show. It's the 69 show. You know what I'm saying? We had to celebrate. We had to do it big because, of course, we like the 69 to big. Anyway, Caleones, let's end it. Can we go to Onuma's News Burst? I'm sorry, still no soundbite. So what is the first piece of news, Caleones? We're going to have to hit them fast. But what is the first piece of news?
Well, before we head to the piece of news, the first piece of news on the news burst, Jose Flores wanted to do a summary of what we discussed on at the beginning of the show, which was about the 5 characters that we believe were going to be done. So if you could tell them real quick what your 5 were, and I'll try to remember what my 5 were as well. So what
it'll be harder for you, but I can say mine. Mine DLC characters was Rex and Pyra, was Toad, Captain Toad, was Paper Mario, was Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and then the final character was going to be the new Pokemon game, a new Pokemon from the new generation Pokemon game that is going to come out next year. Those were my 5 characters. Of course, my list is fire. So go ahead, Caleones. What is your list?
Okay, so I'm going to talk from the end until the beginning. So I had Banjo-Kazooie, because of the strong relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo. I also had either Ribbon Girl or Springman from ARMS to be featured on there as well. And I added some characters like and this is where I kind of like went.
Okay, I'll tell you. I remember yours. The wonderful 101 character you mentioned.
101 characters.
And then you mentioned one character from Shin Megami Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is going to be a tie-in to the game, which is going to be on there as well. And I forget about the 5th one. So it's
Ribbon Girl, and then you said Ribbon Girl. You said Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, I don't remember. The wonderful 101 guy. Shin Megami Tensei. It was something off the wall because I said, oh, yeah. I remember. The heroes from Breath of the Wild.
The champions.
Yeah, the champions.
The champions from Breath of the Wild, because instead of changing the powers of a single character, you change each character into the next one, and they have their own different abilities. So those were my characters, my predictions for there.
Okay.
And Jose said the same thing. Rex from Xenoblade.
Of course.
You're always smash begging for him. Smash begging.
I don't smash beg, sir. I just throw facts. And my list was fire. That's 1. And 2, if Rex is not selected to be a DLC character, I will not tweet to Sakurai telling him that he sucks, that he doesn't listen to the fan base. I will be fine. Trust me. I will be fine. Anyway, Caleones, let's go again to Onuma's News Burst. Go ahead, Caleones, with the first piece of news.
Okay, and the first piece of news, and I'm sorry that, we've been talking for a while, so my voice is almost gone. Like I said, go Cleveland Browns, we won, lost my voice, but I gotta do the show. So we're talking about the NPD. They revealed in the US the top selling games, the best selling game of each year, and this starting in 1995 all the way to 2017. Of course, 2018 is not done, so we don't know which one's going to be the best selling game. If it's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 4, if it's going to be Red Dead Redemption 2, or the people that voted on post that something that I posted on
smoking
Twitter account,
weed, but that's fine.
The best selling game is going to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It would be if every single Switch owner buys the game. That's how they can do it.
So
it has to
Caleones,
have.
You said the best-selling game of 2018 on your Twitter poll. That's when you see that you just have a bunch of Nintendo fans just following you. Because common sense tells you that Smash is not going to sell more than Red Dead, more than Call of Duty. I don't think it's gonna sell more than Spider-Man or God of War. I'm just telling you facts.
That's low.
Because it's only a month in the year remaining. Come on, you just really Smash. You guys, everybody thinks that Smash is like Red Dead Redemption that can sell 17 million copies in hours. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So, anyway, go ahead, Caleones. Let's start with the list. Can you tell me the top 10 best-selling list of all time?
Okay, so I'm going to mention the top selling game of each year since 1995. And to get started, Mortal Kombat 3 in 95. 96, Super Mario 64. 97, Mario Kart 64. 98, Zelda Ocarina of Time. 99, Donkey Kong. 2000, Pokemon Stadium. 2001, and Madden NFL 2002. In 2002, it was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. In 2003, it was Madden NFL 04. In 2004, it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. In 05, it was Madden NFL 06. In 2006, it was Madden NFL 07. In 2007, it was Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. 2008, it was Rock Band, and I'm pretty sure Dantes probably bought both of them. I'm not sure, but
yep. I did.
2009, supporting the rock movement. 2009, it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and this is just going to be a big roll of Call of Duty games. 2010, Call of Duty Black Ops. 2011, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 2012, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. 2003, it was actually a combo breaker by Grand Theft Auto 5. Then 2014, it was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. 2015, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. 2016, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And 2017 was Call of Duty World War II. So this tells you that Call of Duty games, they are the supreme selling games, and they have been
at the U.S.
for the past 9 years. And the only time that they were not the top selling game, it was when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Granted, Red Dead Redemption 2 is not Grand Theft Auto, but it is made by Rockstar. The previous games they've had decent sales, probably like 10, 12 million games sold collectively in between the PlayStation and the Xbox. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is on a whole nother level. And especially with the Red Dead Online coming out this month, that game is going to continue to sell. I believe it's going to be an evergreen title.
And remember, though, Call of Duty comes out every year, so that's the difference.
Yeah.
This year, Red Dead's going to win. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion.
But you have Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which they released their Battle Royale mode, Blackout.
So already, Red Dead made 750 million and Call of Duty made 500 million on launch week. So, again, Red Dead's going to win this year. There's no doubt about it. Javier Flores is asking, Jose Flores, sorry. Javier Flores was my former, still friend, not best friend, but Jose Flores was asking while we're playing. I've been playing Xenoblade again. I've been running through the game again. So I'm enjoying that. After that, I'm going to probably play some Octopath Traveler. That's my plan for my Christmas break. Caleones, what are you playing aside from Arena Valor? I always see you getting connected and playing Arena Valor instead of playing Spider-Man and finishing it. But yeah, I could keep going playing Arena Valor. You're skipping. You're skipping.
Yeah.
You're skipping. Give it a second until your internet gets strong. You're skipping. You're skipping. You're skipping. Okay, try it now.
Yeah.
Nope. Still skipping. Really bad. You're frozen in time right now on the camera. Okay. Go ahead again, Caleones. Try it now.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Okay, try it now. You're moving again. Go ahead, Caleones.
I feel like you're Dr. Evil. You're saying zip it, zip, zip,
No, no,
zip
no.
it,
Go
zip.
ahead. Go ahead. Now you're moving. Take advantage of your internet working right now. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, Arena Valor because it's a quick pick me up game, and because the PlayStation is used a lot by my two kids, so it is really hard to get on the PlayStation. I really need to finish up, like you said, Spider-Man. I need to continue playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I need to finish up recording the videos for Star Fox. Well, actually, it's not Star Fox. It's Starlink Battle for Atlas, but I call it Star Fox because it's the best Star Fox games I've had in years. I can finish up the complete playthrough on that one, but
It's funny you're
uh,
saying that your kids take the PlayStation, but Jenny, Toys and More Club is in the chat right now. She was all PlayStation hating, and now she's PlayStation loving. Just that's what happens when you play PlayStation. You just feel the power of the PlayStation. But anyway, Caleones.
she does like how Fortnite looks on the PS4 Pro.
Power of PlayStation, baby. You know what I'm saying. Caleones, go with the next piece of news before your internet starts crapping out again.
Well, the next piece of news actually the release of YouTube on the Nintendo Switch. Something that we believe probably should have happened back in March 3rd of 2017, but they actually waited out this year. We don't know if there was something going on the background where they were, like fighting for licenses, or if it was Nintendo side, or if it was YouTube side on how it was going to be incorporated on the system. But how it works exactly like it would on a smart TV, or how it works on the other systems as well. So, I mean, there's nothing really different that they incorporated into it, except for that, people finally have YouTube, and, to go alongside with Hulu. We're still missing a web browser. We're missing having Netflix and having all their, like streaming services as well. But YouTube should have been there, but glad that it is.
Cool. YouTube is finally here. Whoopee! Finally. Thank God. Go ahead, guys, with the next one because we're close to 1 hour and 30 right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, we can finally see ourselves on the Switch, which is pretty neat.
I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Okay, so the next one, and this is going to create a big void out there because there's a lot of people that they don't necessarily go over to the internet to to get their strategies, to get play walkthroughs and things like that, so they can help them out on the games. And it is the sad news that Prima Games has announced that it will be closing their doors. So Prima Games is of course the biggest producer of strategy guides in the world, and they are closing their doors. They will be no more, and you won't be able to get pretty cool books like those. So strategy guys like those the collector's edition or things like that. So it is really sad. What do you have to say about this? Because pretty much games have been around for a long time.
So it's sad. I'm holding right now my Xenoblade Chronicles 2 strategy guide from Prima. I like the hardcover. It was also a special edition, so you had artwork inside of them. And a lot of times, what I like about the strategy guys was more the content inside of the artwork. I didn't buy them all the time. I only bought it for really big RPGs because I really don't have the same time as exploring it myself. And if you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, trust me, you'll need this because that game is huge. And so this helps a lot. I don't know, Caleones, I think was saying something, he froze. But anyway, what I'm going to say is sad. I wish that somewhere could work, but honestly, with online, you can find anything online. Sites like GameFAQs, you can find any strategy there. It's just I'm going to miss the collector editions with the nice hardcover and the pictures and stuff like that. But I'm an old breed. Everybody likes it online. Everybody likes it digital. So I'm an old fart. What can I say?
Well, just to say how much time we used to have that we don't have right now. Remember back in our college days where we actually made for GameFAQs a full strategy guide for Final Fantasy X.
We never finished it though. Remember?
Well, it was like how many pages? Like 80-something pages.
Oh, I remember. It was a lot of pages. Yeah.
It was like we had so much information.
We got close. We were close to the end, and I don't remember why I didn't finish it. Like everything, it's just we We used to get distracted easily. Caleones more than me, but yeah, we would get distracted easily. Hey, dude, you still get distracted. Finish Spider-Man. Just finish damn Spider-Man. I'm gonna stop talking to you. Finish the damn Spider-Man game. Anyway, go ahead with the next piece of news.
So what you're saying is that on the next podcast, you're gonna have, instead of us talking, you're just gonna have a counter on there saying waiting on Caleones to finish Spider-Man and just a clock running.
Yeah, possibly. That could happen. I mean, vacation is coming for us on this show. And to clarify, guys, that means that we are going to doing some pre-recorded content to put it out there. We won't be streaming live, I would say, almost all December. I will take 3 weeks off from work. So since the 17th, I would say that our last show, live show, I could do last get in show is gonna be the 18th of December. That is it. After that, we won't be back until the 8th of January. So just giving you guys a heads up. So anyway, guys, let's go with the next one.
Quickly, I just wanted to say, based on what Dantes just said, is that even though we're not going to be doing shows, we really want to, if it's possible, to pre-record certain things so we can have it ready and going out. So if you guys think about anything that you want us to pre-record, have it ready and put it out there, any recommendations, you can post them on the chat. You can send us messages. You can send it over Twitter as well. So anything that you guys want and feel that you would want to see from us, let us know to see if that's something that we can do. Going over with the next one, and this is talking about Illumination Entertainment and the Mario movie, is that they're working closely with Miyamoto on the movie itself. Of course, Miyamoto is the father of Mario, and it makes sense that he's going to be involved because he wants to make sure that the character is treated properly, and that there's not going to be too many fart jokes. I guess maybe he's afraid of that. But what they said, and this is from the quotes, is that I like that this was not done well the first time. And he's talking about, of course, the movie that came out in the 90s. I think that's more exciting or more worthy than simply making another version of a film that was done incredibly well to begin with. It's an ambitious task. The challenge is taking things that are so thin in the original form and finding depth that doesn't compromise what generations of fans love about Mario, but also feels organic to the iconography and can support a 3-act structure. So we are keeping Miyamoto front and center in the creation of this film. I've rarely seen that happen with any adaptation where the original creative voice isn't being embraced like we're embracing Miyamoto. That's a history in Hollywood of television that they know better than the people responsible for a property, and they made that mistake before. Of course, this is coming from Illumination's Chris Meledandri, and the conversations they had and the involvement of Nintendo and Miyamoto on the Mario movie. So I'm going to ask you something, and this is based on certain things that have happened with Shigeru Miyamoto's involvement on
Star
different
Fox
franchises, especially Star Fox, and Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. So talking about the Mario movie and a character that he doesn't really have a big fleshed out story except for you have Save the Princess, Bowser or Koopa, whichever one you want to say, kidnapping her and him going after her to to be able to retrieve her from the clutches of evil, if you want to say it that way. So would you agree with me that it hasn't really been until the first and last time that Mario was really fleshed out was probably in Super Mario RPG on the Super NES, and then you haven't really seen anything like him that fleshed out a little bit on the Mario RPG
forgetting
games.
the Mario cartoons? Do the Mario.
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna go that way with Mario.
Hey, that's what I wanted. Let's do Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoons. Yeah, that'll be fire. But hey, to answer that question, because again, I don't want to be here 2 hours. I'm struggling right now. I would say that Miyamoto at least they're just talking to him, giving some advice, so at least making sure that the character stays true to the character. I think Nintendo, if they're smart, they're gonna let Illumination do their own story. They're just trying to make sure that it's the feel of Mario, and I think that's where Miyamoto is guiding them. Kind of what they did. Give me an example. Miyamoto helped out a little bit with Mario and Rabbids, right? And Miyamoto made that game better, in a sense, with the challenge that he gave to that team. But he wasn't involved in the development. He just gave him some tips to do better. So I think that's what he's doing possibly with the Illumination movie, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and I mean, for those of you wondering, the challenge was that he didn't want it to be a platformer, so that he didn't really want Mario jumping on there. I mean,
he jumps. He still jumps, but
I mean, he still jumps, but it's not in the same way. So,
no, not in the same way. No.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I really like what I've seen from Mario coming out of the Super Mario Odyssey. What I've seen from there, and Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I've seen. I like that Mario. Hopefully, the is going to think about that and type of animation, and he's becoming a little bit more cinematic. So hopefully, by the movie coming out, it will make the games a little more cinematic as well. Even though it's been about gameplay, games have been great and all-time classics. Most of them, but still, you still want the story portion to be a little more fleshed out, especially with Mario, because he's still somebody that you see a lot, but you don't really know too much of them in a sense. So I really want to see that. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and move over to the next piece of news. And this is talking about the Game Awards. And the Game Awards are going to be coming out, I believe, on December 6th. And it's going to be, like December 7th is when two things are going to happen. One, of course, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be coming out. And two, the new season of Fortnite, Season 7, is going to be coming out on December 7th as well. So on December 6th, in preparation for all of that, they're going to be having their Game Awards. And they said that this year's Game Awards will feature the largest lineup of new game announcements in show's history. So we're not going to talk about all the possible announcements that they're going to have on there, because this is a Nintendo podcast. So, Dantes, what do you think they will announce at the Game Awards from Nintendo?
The first DLC character for Smash. That's just, I'm saying that's the best way to create hype for Smash. And then the second thing I would say is that we're gonna have Force In Unison streams that day, and we'll live stream the show and have a good time. Maybe we see another breakdown. Like, remember that guy? Like, was it last year that the guy from that game that we played together? What's it called?
A Way Out.
A Way Out. Yeah. I think something crazy is gonna happen again. So I want to see the cringe too. Everybody's gonna be acting like an idiot and stuff like that. So I wanna see some cringe. And I'm not saying Grinch. I'm saying cringe. I'm saying cringy. Anyway, guys, let's go with the next one.
Okay, so going over with the next piece of news, and this is coming from Fortnite. And they are saying that Fortnite now has 8.3 million concurrent players. And this is, talking about players, playing the game at the same time and being active at the same time. So that's 8.3 million. Of course, the system of the game being featured on the Nintendo Switch did help. And I believe they did say something like half of the Nintendo Switch owners downloaded Fortnite to their system. I mean, it is free to play, so just download it, play it. If you like it, great. If you don't, then you can move on. But you have no excuses to not try the game. But I mean, either way, this is games making bank for Epic. They're making a lot of money out of it, and they just continue to release new content for it. And like we said, December 7th is when Season 7 of Fortnite is going to be coming out. So it's going to be in a little less than a month. So go ahead and get caught up on your characters and on everything about the game before the new season comes out. But surprised about this, Dantes?
No. Go with the next one.
And we're going to be talking about the last piece of news for tonight. And this is coming from Amazon. And they are saying that, well, not they're saying, but it shows that, Travis strikes again. No more heroes. Physical edition has been listed to include a season pass. So, just going from the details, and this is coming from the website, it says, get into the game, literally enter the world of the Dead Drive Mark II and hack and slash your way out of its various games. Pass a Joy-Con to a friend for local co-op with special team-up, charge attacks. Represent your favorite indie games by rocking their swag in-game. Hit the road in an all-new adventure with gaming's most hardcore otaku assassin. Includes season pass that grants access to future downloadable content and being katana in hand, Travis strikes again. So what I take from this is that because there's some mini games on there, and the Dead Drive Mark II is actually a game system within the game. So from the future downloadable content, I would probably expect other indie development studios to produce content for the game and have it included on there. So I think that's what the season pass is going to be all about. But other than this, we don't really have more details on it.
I do not care about this game at all, and I don't think it should have the season pass. So, I'm sorry, Caleones. This is not No More Heroes. I'm sorry. It's just I don't know what it is. What I've seen does not interest me a lot at all. So, anyway, just call me a crunchy old bastard. So are we done, Caleones? Right? We're done with the news. It's an hour and 41 minutes. God damn. We're done with the news. New record today for us in this podcast for sure. We tried to keep it an hour, but today was a big show. It was 69. Caleones, do you want to cut? Let's just cut the games of the week. Or you want to do Shigeru's Supermarket? Is there any important game this week?
Well, what I can say is that the list is really long. We had, and this is starting in November 5th. So, for this week, we have 43 games.
No, I'm good. So we're good. We're done for today, guys. I know.
Well, I mean, we can say the notables. Notable games are,
go ahead.
The World of Final Fantasy,
yeah, that's a big game.
Moonlighter, Rogue Legacy, Minecraft Study Mode Season 2 is another notable one as well. And you can probably go with the Valiant Hearts, the Great War, as another on there. So there's some notable releases. So guys, just go to the store, look them up, and see if there's any that may catch your eye. But from the ones that I mentioned, any of those that you would recommend?
The World of Final Fantasy, I think I haven't played it, but it looked fine. I just never got around to it. I'm just not a huge fan of Final Fantasy like I used to be. In reality, and if we talk about the Final Fantasy 15 DLC, we'll be here for another hour. What happened? The debacle of Final Fantasy 15. But with that, we're done, Caleones. I'm gonna start putting that Xenoblade music. There we go. Let's rock out, people, because let's celebrate. We have done this 69 times, Caleones. We have done this show 69 times, and we have to celebrate it big time. So I appreciate everybody, guys, who has tuned up, who has helped us grow this Nintendo podcast, because admittedly, I'm happy. It's been growing. It's been growing better than some of the shows that I thought should be growing more than this show. I'm happy because this is the foundation of this channel. We started this channel because we like to do the Nintendo podcast. So aside from we finally turned the 1,000 mark.
We're going to be making maybe a couple of changes, something that you discuss with me, maybe a different format on how we play and talk about news, which was pretty interesting. So we're going to the holidays, but
that's Force In Unison stream. So again, this show will stay intact. We're not changing this show at all because I think we like the format. I truly believe, maybe people don't like this, call me cocky son of a bitch, but I believe that we have one of the best Nintendo podcasts with good structure, the way we talk about Nintendo games and good knowledge. So join us, make us grow this beautiful podcast. And we both love Nintendo. So, but anyway, with that said, I appreciate it for being here with 69. Next week is 70. Not as good, but it's still 69 plus 1. Just look it up in the internet. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us on today's Get In and Get Out episode 69 right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Oh, and hit that bell. Hit that bell, people, because trust me, YouTube is messing up you guys finding us. So hit that bell so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, we got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show us love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Remember, PlayStation Monday this week is going to be on a Tuesday. So PlayStation Tuesday this week. Of course, Nintendo Wednesday. And then we're not sure about Fortnite Friday. That's one of the things that we're talking about. And then, of course, for Unison Streams, which we are planning to change the format in something more different, more interesting. We shall see how we do. So, anyway. Also, Facebook at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and get some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again. Long live Nintendo, peeps. See you.